Today we are honored and privileged to have Andy Haines with us. As most all of you know, Andy was our manager last year, and I think through some difficult circumstances he did a wonderful job. Our overall record was 66 and 74, and this year, as part of our program that we announced last fall, our Guarantee to Give program, Andy's going to get up here and tell you how he is guaranteeing that we're going to make the playoffs this year. So anyway, but Andy's been in coaching for a number of years at both the college level, the independent level, and with the Marlins for the last, 4 years now. 1 year here, 1 year as manager at Jamestown, and then the hitting coach prior to that with the Gulf Coast Marlins. So without any further delay, I'm going to introduce Andy and welcome you back to Greensboro and look forward to a great year.
You know how excited I am to come back. Last year, obviously, I was very excited, but this year, just the familiar faces I see, and obviously round two of Donald buying me a huge steak. That's not a bad part of the trip either, but he tried to outdo me this year. He found a new way to cook it or something. I don't know. But so that's a good start. I'm thinking, not selfishly, but a little bit selfishly, because it's human nature, and also for Donald and Katie and everybody that's here and all the season ticket holders. I told Donald, it's about time you had a good team, Donald. It's about time that championship came through Greensboro, and we all know how difficult that is, but I think it's something we can do, and I think that you can never guarantee it, even though Donald says otherwise. You can guarantee it. But, you'd like to, as a manager, have a team that if you don't win it, it's going to go through Greensboro. I think that's the ultimate goal. And I've had some conversations earlier about, what we're going to do and who's going to be here, and it's all speculation. But it was truthful when I said, if you go to my house, you're going to see a lot of different scratch paper with lineups and daily schedules and things we're going to do, and it's all speculation, but that's the enjoyment of what we do. And when they say the report date is, whatever that is for spring training, I think that's a very important day, because I live in Nashville, and I think we had a longer winter than you guys had. Just got pounded with snow, and I think when they kind of tell us that report date, and Donald calls me and says, hey, we're going to see you in Greensboro this day, I think everybody gets excited, and I think everybody should be excited because of what they have going here. As far as guys repeating, it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough on some guys to repeat this level, just from due to the fact that we kind of keep them coming right behind them. So there'll be a lot of competition in spring training. If a guy has to repeat here, it's not a logical fit for him. It's going to be tough because some young guys will be pushing him out of the way, and that's what's tough in spring training, to see that competition. And a lot of those guys will be in their first spring training. And when you see 140 players running around, you see some mouths wide open the first couple of weeks. Kind of surprise of what's happening. When you're in the minor leagues, obviously, I'm going to report tomorrow. We have a 10-day mini camp, which will be some of our top prospects. Most of the guys' first spring training, so a lot of guys that are scheduled on pace to come here will be there. A lot of the pitchers will be there just to speed their process up a little bit, get their arms ready for the season, because it happens so fast. But the fun part of spring training, you really feel like you're part of the Florida Marlins, because you get to go to the big league side, and help out. Some days they need you. Some days the Double-A manager's gone. You go up there and help out in Double-A, with those players. And then when things settle down a couple weeks before, we break camp, I'll be pretty locked into, whatever field I'm on with Greensboro, and things will start to take shape a little bit. I think if anybody comes to spring training the first couple weeks, it's a little bit of controlled chaos, because there's players everywhere, and there's a lot of minor league players on the major league side. So, we're stretched thin a little bit in the minor leagues. You have to help out wherever you're needed. And that's a fun part as a minor league coach, because you get to be around those big league guys, and now it's not going to feel that much different, because it's going to be Logan Morrison and Chris Coughlin and Mike Stanton, guys that and then our major league coaching staff too. You're talking about Edwin, Brandon Hyde, John Maley, all guys that a lot of people here are familiar with, Joe Espada. So it's going to feel like, hey, this is the major league side or the minor league side, but it's going to feel very, I think at ease for a lot of us going over there. Willie Glenn was a player for us, and tells you how much, he actually probably should have been in the big leagues, had an injury because he pitched a few spring training games a few years ago, pitched very well, was probably right in line to go to the big leagues. Had an injury, had an arm injury, played last year in an independent league, I think, just to finish up his career, to make sure he got it out of his system. I think we've asked him for the last couple seasons about coaching, and then this year he was ready to pursue it. And it speaks volumes to him about how we think of him, to entrust him right away, and with the arms we're going to send here. Kevin Randall will be back, and then Julio Hernandez, our trainer, is going to be in Jupiter in the Florida State League. And then Mike Kesey, our strength coach, some of you may or may not be familiar with him. He was actually hired by the Yankees. So he's on the bad side now, but it's good for him. Very good opportunity. So we'll have Kevin Randall back, and then a couple new staff members. Player development, to me, I hear a lot of minor league managers and coaches say, well, we were 35 games under 500, but we developed a lot of players. Well, you're with them 12 hours today. You're going to develop some players if you do your job. And you're going to do all those things. That's a given to me. We're going to develop players every day. That's never going to change. The part of me that loves being part of a team, I want to win. I make no bones about it. I want to have a good team, and I want to win, because the bottom line in the big leagues, that is a pressure cooker right there. If you don't win, number one, you're going back to the minor leagues, okay? And it's totally different in the big leagues. So I think anytime you can provide an environment where winning absolutely has to be a part of it, and I think you can balance that without doing anything reckless. And as Jim Fleming says, just completely go off the reservation. My boss, I think it's a very good statement. And I think we do get a lot of liberties. With Jim Fleming and Brian Chatton and John Pearson, the three guys that come to mind that I report to a lot, they give minor league managers a lot of freedom. I think that's just part of trust. And I think pitch counts with young pitchers are something that you probably don't get a lot of liberty with, because it's kind of set up for them of natural progressions. If they throw 75 innings in high school, you're not going to run a guy out there for 220 innings, in the South Atlantic League. That's something that would probably be reckless. But as far as winning goes, it's absolutely a part of development. It's a very important part, because you're not developing guys to go to the big leagues, in my opinion, or the Florida Marlins' opinion. You're developing guys to go up there and be, world champions. Fans ask me, are you going to win some games, and getting on the players? That's what it's supposed to be like. And, that's why the Marlins love Greensboro so much, and that's why I think they're so intent on not only continuing that player development pipeline, but, making sure that championship comes through here too, because that's important. You talk about Kyle Skipworth. I think he did what everybody in the organization was hoping he would do. He's just defensively, I thought he was very underrated. He had some stretches last year. He was tremendous, and to see his progress, and then the arms that he caught. We had some very hard throwers, and out of the bullpen, to continue on that, you're talking about Caminero. Sandy Rosario ended up pitching in the big leagues. It doesn't happen very much, go from Greensboro to big leagues in the same season. And then Ramon Benjamin. Those three arms came in as arm strength guys that needed to learn to hold runners, just command the ball a little better, and be able to function in this type of environment. And late in the season, they were all pitching in high-pressure environments up in Lakewood. We played an awesome series late where we won 3 out of 4. Then we go to Charleston, and we closed one night with Caminero and one night with Benjamin. So to see those guys' progression was phenomenal, and to see the way Skipworth handled them, I think was a huge part of it. I thought it was very, he didn't get a lot of credit for that part of it because everybody's so obsessed with the bat. And he didn't hit any wall scrapers. I think he hit 19 home runs, and they were all, out of any park. And he's on his way. He's just got to stay healthy and keep doing what he's doing. And so those probably individually are the main things. See a Chad James and Edgar almost grow up and come along the way they did. And then at the end of the year, as a team, to be in it, from where we started, I thought was tremendous. As far as philosophy, that's never going to change. I want people when they come through Greensboro to know, hey, they played Greensboro, and this is the way Greensboro's come play. They're going to be tough, and you're going to have your hands full, regardless of the outcome of our approach and how you play. The people that pay a lot of money to bring their family and watch, they're going to get their money's worth. Doesn't mean we win every game, no, guaranteed it. But but the approach is going to be there. It's going to be an exciting team to watch. And that's the thing I'm most proud of probably about last year was I think, when you go through some struggles early and some things happen, I think it's easy to kind of give into it, and we didn't. The last couple months there, we were in the thick of things. We made it interesting, and we're not going to go away. I think, and that's a characteristic that you want anytime you're in charge of something is, we're not going to go away, and we're going to be there, and we get off to a little better start this year, and I think we put ourselves in a much better position.